Long-term care has been in the news a lot recently. Probably the main reason for that is because we've now suddenly realised that people are living longer. If you look at the average age of life expectancy 20, 30 years ago, significantly lower than what it is today. We're now seeing people get diseases and illnesses that previously were quite rare and uncommon, or even undiagnosed, things like Alzheimer's and dementia. They weren't really heard of 20, 30 years ago, but now it's at the forefront, and there's stats out there which will show that it's going to be almost as common as things like cancer. There's a lot of pressure on the government at the moment to get things in place, but anything that's new or slightly different is going to come with quite a lot of media attention, shall we say, and it's going to be very, very difficult to get it right. Yes, if we were to sort of picture in our heads the sort of client that would be looking at long-term care, you probably think of someone 70 plus. But actually, you can probably not 30 years up to that point, people need to be starting to realise, family genetics, hereditary things like that, they all play a part into these illnesses. So if you've got a family history of these illnesses and diseases, I would say sooner rather than later, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation that previous generations probably found themselves in. I think sometimes people are concerned that it's too late, and I don't think, it's very rare where there's a circumstance where something's too late in the financial world. It may limit your options, which is unfortunately a difficult conversation to have with people. You don't want to be Mr. Hindsight sometimes when you go, well, if you thought about this 10 years ago, your options would have been completely different. It's not a healthy way to take advice. The general term of long-term care, the products at the very, very core are quite straightforward. But actually the different bits that you can add into those plans and what plans are appropriate for different kinds of people, that's when you start getting into the real complexities of the matter. When you're talking about pensions and when you want to retire on, what level of income, what level of flexibilities you need, whether you want security, all those different factors, it's right, okay, how do we then work that into what if we need to move into care? And almost, play a bit of a hypothetical, right, want to retire at 67, 65, whatever it is. At age 80, what happens if you have to move into care? And it's almost playing that, almost role playing, seeing how the assets that you've got there would work in that model. And then you're really having conversations about, are these really holistic and longer term plans? There's a real taboo in this country about not talking about money and finances. Again, I think it's probably a generational thing. I know from personal experience within my family that grandparents never spoke about money to mum and dad, and if they had done, I think things would have been very different. I had 3 grandparents with Alzheimer's and dementia, 2 of which went into care. They're really, really difficult times for families from a personal experience, but also from what I see with my clients as well. So the sooner you can have conversations, son, daughter, I've put provision in place if I do need to move into care, by the way. It then opens up a much wider conversation. Unfortunately, we see a lot of people put money into cash accounts, and then just use that to fund themselves. And with the negative effects of inflation, you're not really giving yourself any opportunity for growth over the long term, or short term in some cases, so you're really not giving yourself much chance. Emotionally, you like to think, right, this is only going to be for the next couple of years, it's got to get through the next couple of years. Whereas actually, yes, that might be the case, but you need to plan longer than that, because if someone's in care for 10, 15 years and they're paying at £50,000 a year, that's a lot of money, and that's probably the medium sort of cost. It can range up to 100,000 or a lot less. So how long could your assets actually sustain that level of income going out? There's a lot of different things you need to consider when you're looking at this sort of provision.